What's going on, everyone? Hour 10 is back with another Hour 10's 2 Live Thursday. You already know what it is. My name is Trinell. I'm the co-president. Everybody want to go around?
I'm Shakoya, the secretary.
Sure. Sorry, my name is Designer.
Hi, everyone, and I'm Nia, one of the co-presidents.
Yes. And we have a lovely topic for us today to talk about. We're talking about enrichment. Enrichment in our lives. So enrichment is our word of the week. And let's just give a definition of what enrichment is. So enrichment is a noun. Shout out to Mickey, who is covering this week's word of the week. It is a noun, to make rich or richer, especially by the addition or increase of some. My bad, y'all. I should have that off. To make rich or richer, especially by the addition or increase of some desirable quality, attribute, or ingredient. So that's enrichment. So we're going to go over what enrichment is, get into a few things, a few questions. So let's just kick it off, okay? Let's kick it off. Let's get it on popping. First off, we're all our entrepreneurs. So let's just talk about how entrepreneurship has aided in our own growth. How has entrepreneurship enriched our lives?
Well, I can answer that question first. Entrepreneurship definitely shaped my life in a very new way than what I'm used to. So with me seeing family members, parents, aunts, even siblings, you know what I'm saying? We grow up thinking that when you become an adult, you have to go to college, you have to get your degree so you can get a nice paying job that you're working 9 to 5 at, and and that's what's paying your bills. But, us new generation, we realize like, we're not trying to be on nobody's timing. We're not trying to punch nobody's clock but our own. We have all these we have so much creativity. We have so much things going for ourselves. And so it's like, we want to challenge ourselves. So that's how we ended up being entrepreneurs, taking all those thoughts and knowing that we are capable of being one of these big companies that we support so much. So it shaped my life because it just showed me something new, and I'm showing my family members and friends something new. They haven't been thinking about entrepreneurship, and I'm like trying to get them on game. I'm telling them it's never too late. It's never too late to start a business and to start your own brand. So
Yeah, I like that. Can you hear me, guys? Pretty fine? Okay, great. So I would like to piggyback off of what you said, Nia. So being a entrepreneur, it gets you in that boss mindset. You know what I'm saying? So you gain skills that you wouldn't get in a regular 9 to 5, and it enriches you in multiple ways that you didn't expect. Meaning communicating skills, networking skills, organization skills, preparation skills, things that you might get in a 9 to 5, but when you're working on your own business, you do it 10 times harder. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that definitely enriched my life.
So how it enriched my life? Yeah, what I agree with both of the ladies, Nia and Mickey, with, just improving and enhancing whatever I can in myself. And I feel like that's enrichment. Just enhancing and improving the quality of myself.
Facts. I think, yeah, to pretty much piggyback off of what everybody said, like entrepreneurship definitely gives you that feeling of it's on me. Like your business is on you. That's your responsibility. That's your task. That's your project. So whatever direction you want it to go in, that's your choice. Whatever skills you need to make it happen, whoever you need to talk to, like Mickey was talking about connections and networking, you have to do that. So I think it gives you a sense of responsibility, but also it gives you it's a good feeling when knowing that your business is going in a way that you want it to go and it's successful. Like I made this, like this is mine. And I really love that because it gives you it gives you a little bit more confidence in your skills and what you can do. So I do appreciate entrepreneurship in a lot of different ways. I've learned so many different things, like just Googling how to fill in the blank, like how to create this, how to do this. Like it's so much that you just learn from having to learn. You have no choice but to learn it because again, it's your project. So yeah, and entrepreneurship is huge. Kind of in that. So question here, like how can we, I'm thinking more so in like an educational system. So like Mia said, a lot of times we're taught to just go to school. We're taught to just kind of go through the everyday life, go to college, get a job, things like that. How can the education system be enriched? How can we enrich that so that, you know, students are learning a little bit more or are benefiting from it a little better?
I'll tap in first. I feel like, honestly, I feel like high schools, and middle schools maybe even should work on, intertwining like trade into their schools. Maybe not fully, but at least to get into the minds of what the students actually like instead of just teaching them, the general studies. I feel like the general studies is necessary, for any day to day life, or any day to day job. But you never know what 10-year-old likes at that time, and that they could be famous off of, and that they could build. So that's why I think that school should really try to do more.
I agree with Mickey. Um, Also, like with the curriculums and the general eds, or whatever you guys would call it, in high school and middle school, is how to make it more fun, like engage them into these activities. Like for example, a math sketchbook or something like that. However, they could do that, but just engage them so they can, keep the information and go on from that.
Yeah, that's y'all both hit on some really important pieces. Like I think what school does now is just look at everyone, all the students as like, not, they don't look at them as individuals. And it's like each student has their own way of learning. Each student has their own interest. Each student has their own potential. And that's not really tapped into at all.
Yeah, it's kind of like factory workers, literally,
Right, right.
stuff. So
For sure. I definitely think the education system has room to work in a lot of different ways. Um, from work study to uh just getting creative. Like it's just been the same. Just get a little creative, step outside the box. And I think another thing is just allowing teachers, Chris and I were talking about this the other day, just allowing teachers a little bit more flexibility. There's a certain curriculum that they have to follow. And a lot of times it doesn't allow them to get creative with that. It's like kind of if you sticking to the books, just doing tests and assignments, essays, and everybody doesn't learn like that. So definitely it could be enriched in a lot of different ways. Um, so
I
with that,
actually have one more. Oh,
go ahead.
sorry, but it's just unfortunate circumstance of this girl I know. She was working at a school, and basically they fired her because of her dress code. It was nothing inappropriate. She was just teaching kids culture. You know what I'm saying? It was black students, but they had head wraps and crystals. And I think one of the students came up to her and asked her about it, and they fired her because of it. So it was just a sad experience, or sad thing to hear, that the schools are kind of cutting out culture or cutting out individualism.
For sure. I mean, that goes just to show what they expect students to be like. Like students can't step out of the box too much, or it's a problem. And I mean, there's no growth in that. Honestly, it's really no growth in that.
And that's kind of hard when it comes to enrichment in the school system. It's all about communication. And I'm not talking about the adults communicating among each other. At the end of the day, these school is the children's job. So that's them going to work every day. And they have to adapt to that environment. They have to enjoy going to that environment, just like we have to enjoy going to our jobs that we choose to work at. And if we don't like our jobs, if we don't like the people we're working with, what do? We go ahead, put our 2-week notice in, we find another employment. But as kids, you
Mm-hmm.
can't just put the 2-week notice in and find another school. No, they have to stick with it and just ride with the waves. And for that sits right there alone, since they don't have no choice. I feel like school systems should be really basing it on the children and what their wants and needs are. Asking them how you feel like we need to be improving, what you think will work, how do you learn best, what strategy should we be taking, anything that will help them, and try different little experiments and see what does and what doesn't work. Instead of just having a strict little curriculum and strict on how you're going to teach and do the things every day. I just literally just go to class, lesson, do your little worksheets, and then you get your homework at the end. You got to show that at the beginning of the class the next day. That's literally school. I hated going to school. Oh my God. I hated it so much. And because I hated it so much, I didn't learn very much of anything. And I went to a predominantly white neighborhood school. Like, they was teaching us some stuff, but I wasn't learning because I didn't care to learn. I didn't care to listen to what they was talking about. I didn't like the people I was around. It was just, I didn't like the environment because, I don't know, it just, I can't even explain. I don't want to get into that, but it just was a lot of dislikes. And I'm pretty sure I was not the only one that had multiple dislikes. It was on and popping after school. That's when I enjoyed my childhood. But in school, absolutely not. And that right there is an issue, especially when, as kids, like I said, that's your job. And we don't have no choice but to go to that particular school. So they need to be doing something. They need to be enriching that system.
That's facts right there. You just reminded me of this past weekend. We went to a pop-up community cleanup event, and it was a community forum after. Shout out to Black women connecting communities. It was a nice event. We had a nice time. But we had basically just went around the room. It was a lot of youth. It was a lot of youth there, so we just kind of went back and forth asking questions. And my question was, what advice would you give adults? What can you tell adults? What is there something that we need to know? Because us being here, we've been here for 20 plus years, 30 plus years, however many years. And it's like, we're used to what's been going on. This is just the norm. But as a kid, that's fresh eyes. That's kind of like you coming into a company like, okay, this is like a mess. And we know it's a mess, but like, give us some ideas to make it better. But anyway, asking that question, and this kid stood up and was like, look, we need to all work together. There needs to be a little bit more unity among us. There needs to be more collaboration. We need to communicate. We need to be able to work together. And this is coming from like a 7-year-old kid. And it was just like, wow, it was very eye-opening that he even is saying this at such a young age. He's like, people work together. And he brought up Africa. He said people in Africa work together a lot better than people in America. And, he just kind of went into a little bit more details on that. But just the fact that he can notice that at a young age, and like he knows like this is something that we need to focus on, we need to work on. Kids are smart. Like they know what they need, they know what needs to happen. And it's like just being able to just listen to them, sit down and listen to them. They have voices, they have thoughts, they have ideas, and they're pretty smart. So if you just listen to them, you're able to fill those needs. Then that'll be helpful then to just shut them down, say no talking, no this, no that, putting strict rules on it. I really think that it's really beneficial to listen to children and actually try and figure out what would aid them, what would help them. Because one child may be going through some type of emotional things or some trauma, whatever they're going through at home, and they may need mental health. They may need some type of guidance in that area, while another student may have that support and they need some communication skills or something like that. It's very different from child to child, and you never know until you ask them and you listen to them. But you were about to say something, Nia?
Yeah, I just thinking about what you just said. So the boy, he said that it would be beneficial if the adults and children collab together and work together to complete some type of mission or project, right? Okay, well, it's taking a step back and drawing it into our 10. We do a lot of different community service events and things like that. How could we involve children and collab with them rather than making them like volunteers or something like that? Because what it seems like to me is he wants to be a partner with an adult rather than an adult being dictating or having some type of leadership over them. He wants to be equal to them. And he feels like being equal, his voice will be heard more. He'll be able to, put his vision on paper and really actually get it done because an adult has more ability and, things like that. So how could we as an organization become partners with children, and what exactly would we partner with them? Because that is very interesting, and I like that he said that, because that's true. Like Chris always says, we need to bridge the gap between the errors. Even like us against our grandparents, they don't understand us at all. And we can't expect them to understand because, they raised us and they're telling us what's right and from wrong. And so if we have our own idea of what's right or wrong, they don't want to hear it. But again, that's because we never had the opportunity to work with them, for them to even hear us out, for us to hear them out, to show them that, hey, it's 2021 and things are different. Let me show you what's new because you are a little older, type of thing. So that's really cool. What do y'all think that we can incorporate kids in where we are partnerships rather than leaders above them and teaching them? I would love to learn from a child. Like,
Just thinking from my point of view, like as a fashion designer, I know I went to multiple pop-up shops where the parent was there supporting the kid and the kid was owning the pop-up shop or their business or whatever they were, investing or doing at that time. Maybe it would be cool if we created like a kids pop-up shop version. You know what I'm saying? Where all these business owners who are children or these parents who are trying to create businesses for their kids, network with them and try to get them out there. Something like that.
I like that.
I like that. Yeah, that's a fire idea, actually.
Yeah, I like that idea. And I think another idea would be to kind of just continue these conversations. Ask some students, maybe find a program we can work with and ask them, well, what are you all interested in? What do y'all want to do? And then just see what programs, what activities they want to actually get into and then provide that. Sort of like how we do with our 10 workshop. Ask them, well, what do y'all want to learn about? What do you want? How can we help you? What resources can we provide to you? And just asking things like that. But I do like that idea, Mickey. That was the one right there. Because there's a lot of kids out here. It was actually a group that I work with, CFYS, who we worked with before. They have a center store. So like the children in there, they work there and they like hand out the food, pass out food, sell food to like parents, sell food to each other, whatever the case may be. And they also have like a garden where they all like maintain the garden, different things like that. And I just see like the students, they really like that because they're getting different skills and different knowledge in different areas. So I think just asking, really finding a youth to work with and just asking. So what is what is the purpose of enrichment? I know it seems obvious maybe, but like what would you all say the purpose of enrichment is?
Go over what the definition of enrichment is one more time.
Gotcha. Enrichment is to make rich or richer, especially by the addition or increase of some desirable quality, attribute, or ingredient.
Literally every and anything can progress, can get better, can get stronger, can grow, can become more successful. Everything can be enriched, literally. And the most important thing that we need to be enriching is ourselves. We need to be growing ourselves, our mindsets, our thoughts, how we act, things we say, what we feel, things we're into. Everything around us needs to be enriched. Almost every day we need to be practicing on how we can make things better.
Yeah, and I think that's basically the purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like to make you better or to make the world better. You know what I'm saying?
and through you, you make the world better. So that's just the purpose.
Facts. I think that one quote, get 1% better each day. That's what enrichment is in a nutshell. Getting 1% better each and every day. Okay, and
I was just talking to you, Trinell, about that last night. I was like, I
mm-hmm.
can't. I'll just go crazy when I'm just sitting there not doing nothing. I'm just sitting there on my phone on Instagram for too long. I'll be like, oh, okay, it's time to be productive. I don't
Right.
know. I was on Instagram for that long. Why was I just on Netflix watching this movie, like 3 movies and the series? Oh no, I need to do something now. I need to be productive. That is very
Really,
important to me. Very
really,
important.
like I feel like I'm like when I'm on Instagram for an hour or something or just too long, I'm like, damn, am I depressed? But I realize like this is a normal thing. Like people are stuck on their phones. Like I'm
Damn.
like, this cannot be a normal thing for me. Like I cannot be stuck on Instagram unless I'm promoting something for my business, you know. But just to be scrolling on Instagram, just to be doing it, oh no,
Yeah.
that's not the best.
I feel like it's definitely about finding some type of balance because I don't want to have that mindset where you got to be productive 24/7 because that you can reach burnout that way. But definitely having those breaks where, all right, I'm on Instagram for a little bit, but like I said, we ain't gonna be on Instagram all day now. We ain't gonna be on Instagram all day. No, not at all.
Oh yeah, definitely. You can't break the back.
But okay. All right, so let's talk about a little bit more into politics. Have y'all been keeping up with like Biden and President Biden and Camilla Harris? Like, what do you all think about the enrichment of have they enriched our lives? And everyone said, you know what I'm saying? I mean, of course, vote for the better evil, but how has life really changed, if at all? Then I know the biggest update was that President Biden had cut funding and for HBCUs, and I thought that was just very shocking. And a point that someone made on Instagram was just like it was like if you don't vote for Biden, you're not black, and it's like he cutting funding for HBCUs, so it's just like who's really
Where did that money even go? Like, did he
Wow.
say?
To
that's
our
a good question.
stimulus checks and child care tax credits. That's where that went.
For real?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh.
Where else is that money coming from? He's taking money out of one area and he got to be putting it in the next area because it wasn't like they was dishing out that money in the first place. That money came along. So where did that money come along from? Where are they taking money out of? That's messed up. That don't make no sense. He taking money out of the daggone HBCUs to give people that's popping all these thousands of babies. Ain't nobody tell you to be popping out thousands of babies and can't afford
Yeah.
them.
Man.
I think, broad aspect, he's
Mm-mm.
repairing the relationships that Trump, kind of destroyed. Um, it's not many great things to say about him, I guess he's working on healthcare slowly but surely, but at the end of the day, vaccines are coming out. But at the end of the day, like you said, I kind of did think he was going to be representing the black people a little bit better, especially not only the black people, but immigrants in general, especially that
Yeah.
Haitian thing with the horses and the whips. And his response was to take the horses away. And I just talked about that on another podcast. And it's like, out of all that the horses was the problem. In that picture, that's what you found out. So, so it's just, I feel like he could be doing a lot more.
Yeah, definitely. I'm
Especially
not.
being like the vice president of the first black president and having the first vice president as a black woman, as yours. So
Did you want to say something, Corey? I lost my.
I did. I'm not really following like politics and Biden and the vice president. I'm not, but it is a difference from what we had last year. You know what I mean? So I can't complain as much, but that's an improvement, I would say.
Yeah.
I am not a Trump fan at all. But one thing I can say, he had them checks rolling at the end of at the end of the term. He had that money rolling. Biden ain't give, what he give, like
Boy, I'm trying to tell that unemployment, baby.
Hey, yo.
He
Nah,
said,
for
I'm a
sure.
businessman before I'm a
For
politician.
real.
I'm throwing out unemployment, stimmies.
Real.
Nah, you made a good point, Shakoya. It's not as wild, I would say, as Trump had America. It was a lot going on. I think now we fighting a different battle, and it's looking like COVID. That's the battle we fighting among other things. But I think it's dangerous having. Well, we don't gotta get all into politics too deep. But like, I'm just saying, I think it's a little dangerous sometimes when having these people who are supposed to represent you and they're not representing you as hard as you thought they would. Because it's just like, well, dang, you said one thing and then you expect it at least to go as hard for us as hard as you said you would. But again, I think it's politics for real. But it's all about,
No, go
yeah.
ahead.
Now I was just gonna say it's all about accountability when it comes to politicians, like just making sure that they're held accountable for what they're saying, and ain't no telling when people get in office what happens. But again, it is better. It's better.
Yeah, no, I do agree. I've heard multiple people say at least Trump was honest with his stuff. You know what I'm saying? At
Yeah.
least he knew what Trump was on. It is harder to pick out the lies when somebody looks like they're for us and we can't really tell.
Right.
But I feel like at the end of the day, we should be on our own, making our own system anyway, as the black community, not relying on anybody anyway.
Because at
That's a
the
good
end of
point
the
right
day,
there.
that system is made to be going against us. So I agree completely, 100%. We need to be having our own system. Something is
That's that black wealth empowerment, that black dollar. And we just
Man, and
have
we
to
get the
use it.
kids on it too. First of all, hold on. Just first of all, because what Mickey said is wild. That was really wild. First of all, our parents and stuff, like I said, our generation is getting into it, and we have been the older generations, our older cousins, siblings, and parents and stuff like that. We have been on that, so now they getting into the role of things. So now we got the adults on that.
Yeah.
Nikki said throw the kids in there, have little pop-up shop, get their businesses jumping. Dang. That will, oh my God, the adults and the kids are unstoppable. Man, quit playing with them. That's crazy.
That's black wealth. That's black power right there. Economic wealth.
That's a real circulation of money right there in the community. That's serious. Everybody contributing.
That's it. And that's what we need. That's what it used to be back in the day. Family businesses, stuff like that, Black Wall Street, all of that. I mean, the kids weren't on it, but they were either working for the business or, you know what I'm saying, getting their food, money, whatever from that business. So.
I mean, that's what white people are doing. They making businesses in their 3-year-old's name, and they 3-year-old don't even know they have a business. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So
Big facts.
we gotta do the same thing.
Get on it. Our time is now. All right, all right, all right. This was a great, great, great podcast, man. We talked about enrichment. We talked about entrepreneurship, growth, enrichment, and education. Our 10 is, hey, if you are a young person watching this, like, I want to get involved. I have this idea, anything like that. Hit us up. Hit us up on Instagram at our.tin. We want to work with you. We want to talk with you. Just get you invested, get you, on here. Make sure y'all come out. The time is now. 2 Live Thursdays are going back up. Let's get it. All right, y'all. We out. Good night.
All right, everyone.